Let's begin with question number 4. Okay, I'll move it to a whiteboard and we shall begin. So the diagram shows a part of a curve, y equals to e to the power x plus e to the power of negative x for the range of x between -1 to 1. Find the 2 decimal places, the area of the shaded region. Okay, let's begin by thinking of an idea. So the area of the shaded region is actually, if you look at it, so when you integrate the curve, you get the area under the curve that is towards the x-axis. So from the range of -1 all the way to 1, that is integrated against the x, we would get this red one. So it's pretty obvious that the area of the shaded that they're looking for, first we get a concept first going, is equals to the area of a rectangle. Imagine the rectangle there, as per the lines, minus the red area, which is the area under the curve. Okay, area under the curve. So area under the curve is going to be the integration part. Area under the rectangle, we're going to use a bit of logic. Okay, the coordinate geometry to decide that. Okay, so let's have a closer look at it. So the area of a rectangle is the length times the width. And therefore, here it would be 2 units because it's kind of like 1 on the right and 1 on the left. You also can take it as 1 minus minus 1 to see that it is 2 units. And then this way, we just need to see the coordinates of this point. Either you can put a -1 or 1 because the same y coordinate here, the height of the rectangle would correspond to that. So the height of the rectangle would be when x equals to 1. So we just substitute x equal to 1 into this equation, you would get the y coordinate, which also represents the height of the rectangle. So e to the power of 1 plus e to the power of -1. Okay, so this is the height of the rectangle. So we can say like e plus e minus 1 or 1 over e. Okay, the same thing. Okay, now being that said, so we can now calculate the area of the shaded with all this info. So the area of the rectangle becomes, the height of the rectangle is e plus 1 over e. Okay, this can also be written as e plus 1 over e. By putting the x coordinate as 1, you get the height. The y coordinate corresponds to the height multiplied by the width of the rectangle, which is 2 in green, stated earlier. And then this particular section is the one we need to count a little bit, which is the integration. The integration of -1 to 1, the area under the curve of the given function. So the given function is y dx. Okay, if you want to write it slowly, y dx, so can. Means in other words, it's like something like this, but write it separately. 1 to 1, y dx, but I'm just going to write straight away there like this. So we'll do here some parts, so it's easier for you to follow. Just too lazy to copy the whole line. Okay, it's the real reason. Okay, then yeah, e to the power x, when you integrate, becomes e to the power x. This one, what happens is differentiate and divide, so it becomes -1. So negative, then the e to the power -x, because integrating e, what do we say, retains itself. So this is how it looks like here. So that is why I can put here the e to the power x plus e to the power -x first, dx. Then the next line, I'm going to do that, which is, so 2e plus 2 over e on the left-hand side, minus, and then here, we're just going to evaluate this thingy, please. So e to the power x minus e to the power of -x from the integral limits of, or definite integral limits of -1 to 1. So let's just compute that, please. So 2 over e, so this becomes what? Minus, then e to the power of 1. When you put e to the power of 1, you get e minus 1 over e. E to the power of 1, so e minus 1 over e. Then when you minus that, inside the bracket, we have another minus. Put -1, so e to the power of -1, or in other words, it becomes 1 over e, minus, then you put -1 there, e. Okay, so it becomes like this. Correct, huh? Please take note. Yep, looks like it. And then let's just simplify that first, and then we get the answer to 2 decimal places. Okay, so this becomes 2e plus 2 over e. Let's simplify the plus all the way. This become minus e plus 1 over e. Minus minus become plus, so 1 over e minus e. Just copying it lah. So you can see easily that you can say that minus minus the e and all that. The e vanishes, so only seem to remain only the. Why I'm doing it in detail to show that in cases where you need the more accurate answer, you can break it down like this. Because some people say just put it calculator at that point, can also. So let's calculate the 2 decimal places. So 4 divided by e, where is e? Ta-da! Yeah. How do you do 4 divided? Sorry. I'm going to use the e. I think let's put e1. Yep. So it's 1.2 decimal places, right? 47. So thank you.